Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today we are having another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, it's very rare that this show gets to be on the cutting edge of news, but there's literally two huge announcements that just happened that are, one is kind of surprising and one is changing the entire industry of mobile. So let's get to it. So the first big one that I think caught everyone a little bit by surprise is there is an Unpacked Part 3 of 2020. Because why not? Let's just keep going through Unpacks just every week. Why not? So Unpacked Part 3 is dubbed Galaxy Unpacked for every fan. Now, this gives a very unique kind of take on what it will be for. And, we have different colors kind of showing off, what we're getting. And essentially what we kind of know what this is definitely the headliner is going to be the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. Now, what is that going to be? Well, the most famous fan edition came the Note Fan Edition, which was the replacement for the Note 7. So, a phone that didn't do well, to say the least, was then replaced with the Fan Edition version. It did not release in the US, where a lot of the incidents happened. So, yeah, that was basically what happened. It was a crazy mess, and that was the Fan Edition that was the most famous. Now, last year we had two Lite versions. We had an S10 Lite, and we had a Note Lite. Note 10 Lite, I think it was actually called. I think it was called the Note 10 Lite in this case. So yeah, this year we're expecting it to still have a Snapdragon 865. We're expecting to still have 120Hz display. It will be 1080p. Maxed out though, whether you're 60 Hz or not. And that is kind of what we got. We get that certain carriers are going to be having it this time around. So it will be in the US, which is kind of interesting because you really have to ask what size is it going to be? And then also what price point is this going to be at? Is the Fan Edition going to be like a competitor to more of a mid-range kind of header? If so, is Samsung doing this namely because of the iPhone? Are they going to really do this to really compete with the iPhone that's going to be coming out? It's apparently not going to be that much more money in terms of the lowest end iPhone, where the iPhone standard 12, the iPhone 12 will be basically around the same price, which Samsung currently has no new flagship at that price point. The cheapest S20 by default is $1,000. It's gone on sale lots of times for $200 off. But if Apple does announce lower price points this week, you have to imagine that Samsung needs to retaliate. And this is now happening on September 23rd. And it looks like that's what this is made for. So very curious to see what this is. If you are planning on getting an S20, you might want to hold off to see how this goes about, because that is what really the biggest thing is. In terms of if there is lag, I don't have any lag on my side this time around, so try refreshing your screen, but it does not look like I have any lag today, knock on wood. We'll see how it goes. And then we have a huge purchase. And so Nvidia just purchased Arm. Let me explain what Arm is. Arm is a British company who was purchased by SoftBank, which was a Japanese company, or I want to say it's a Japanese company. SoftBank, which is a Japanese company that bought it for $32 billion a couple of years ago. Now they just sold it for $40 billion because they're trying to get money back because they took a bath on the whole Sprint acquisition that they had done a couple of years ago. Did not go well, obviously. Sprint sold off, did not do well on its own, so they're selling now Arm. The big thing that ARM does is they design all mobile processors, and that's huge. They also do GPUs in terms of Mali, I think it's Mali, M-A-L-I. So here's the thing about that. Nvidia just bought the company that does the architecture for every single Mali. Okay. Mali. So, but yeah, so Nvidia just bought the company that designs the architecture for every Apple processor. That's very important because Apple is going to make all of their own processors for their MacBooks and iMacs moving forward. And designs every processor architecture for both Qualcomm and Samsung Exynos and Huawei. So like they design the architecture for everything, basically. Everything is pretty much based off of them. So that being said, this is a pretty big deal. This is pretty like, whoa, like that Nvidia bought this. The reason why this is so big is one, from just a graphics standpoint, because Nvidia is most reputable in graphics more than anything else. They just purchased the third biggest GPU maker. Mali is the third biggest behind Nvidia and behind AMD. But now they are pretty much like really just, it's a very interesting position because ARM was reportedly thinking about starting to charge more from pressure from SoftBank for, as you can imagine, they get royalties and licensing for every single processor that's made in the mobile industry. The fact that Apple's now going to do this as well, oh, you better believe this has a big implementation on Apple moving forward, because Apple right now really works with AMD in terms of graphics. Very rarely does Apple work with Nvidia. Do you think that's going to change? Okay, hopefully it's okay now. Hopefully it's all set. But here's the thing for Nvidia. Sorry, it looks like we're all back now. Sorry for the delay on the freeze. Hopefully it won't be that bad this time around, hopefully. I'll explain something about that later, actually. So Nvidia buying this company is really big on implementation because in the processor divisions, ARM is technically now the biggest name in the world because more ARM processors are going to be made in 2 years' time than Intel, by far, because Intel is losing Mac, and obviously ARM makes every mobile processor. Big change. But this is really interesting to see what Nvidia does with ARM. Are they going to use it as leverage for companies? Are they going to charge more money? If Nvidia kind of charges too much money for everyone that licenses ARM processors, will we see another architecture company made? Again, Apple, Qualcomm, Samsung, all of the main three players all use ARM architecture. So if they kind of push the envelope and charge too much, could we see another architecture maker in this vast world of processors? It's very interesting to see where this goes from here, but this is a big deal in terms of the processing making, in terms of graphics making, in terms of partnerships with companies like Apple that Nvidia has not really had. This is going to be big, and this has just made Nvidia's value a whole nother level for sure. Not to mention, they just killed it with their new processors that were just announced, so it's really something that's very interesting for sure. All right, let's get on to some other news now. So we do have some images of the Pixel 5S. And this is really interesting because these images are of a 5S and not a 5. I don't know what's going on here, but I will say I'm very happy with one fact. We have two camera lenses here, and it should be a main camera and a wide angle camera, which this will be the first wide angle camera that I think a Pixel has had. At least in the rear, they used to have a wide selfie camera, which I do miss that, really. I really do, but hopefully this will be much better. The voice is out of sync. Try refreshing it. Try just refreshing your screen to see if that fixes it. Again, we were having technical issues a little bit ago, and again, that will be resolved soon, actually, thank God. So yeah, but this is going to be something that's very interesting, that we have a new form of Pixel. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. It has a 128 gigs of storage, so I'm very happy about that. Again, we keep that storage size, but I don't know. I think whatever this phone is, the Pixel 5, the Pixel 5S, whatever this phone is, it's all going to come down to one big thing, and that is that it's going to come down to how much is this phone, how much is this going to be in terms of pricing. The Pixel 5 will be a hit or a failure purely based on the pricing of this device. So yeah. All right, see if that helps. I just tried kind of refreshing it on my side, but let me know if that is better at all. But that's the most I can do from my side while I'm doing live video. I know people are saying the voice sync is off. Again, we had like a minute pause, about 30 seconds pause on my side where it just froze and then it started to come back. So hopefully it's better sync now. And again, guys, I do apologize for this. But try refreshing your screens and see if it's okay now. But yeah, so that's on the Pixel 5. It's going to come down to the issue for pricing. I think that's going to be the biggest concern for that. Speaking of a phone that's in the mid-range price point, OnePlus is going to apparently release 4 more phones now. 4? Like that is very interesting. So I think everyone thought there would be an 8T and a Nord for the US. I think everyone kind of, saw that issue coming. But what was just proposed was, apparently there has been 4 guides leaked, and they go through the 8T, the 8T Pro, the N100, and the N105G. That these are basically referencing new phones that will be coming out. Now, the big interesting part, I think, of this is 2 Nord devices. I think that's the most interesting part, because is that just one for the US and one international? I think that's what it's going to be, but we'll have to see how it kind of moves from there. And then the 8T Pro, which was not supposed to happen. After the McLaren edition, apparently, there was not going to be a T Pro anymore. There was just going to be a T to end off the year. But now there is a T Pro coming out, which is interesting because will it be a new partner or will it just be an 8T Pro just from OnePlus? I think that's interesting. I think the 8Ts really did kind of fade away into obscurity this year. Like, obviously a lot of things have happened this year, so it's not it, but it really didn't stay in the limelight. Like it came out and that was it. Like no one really, it wasn't talked about pretty much after a month of it coming out. And I think it was just because it was there, but nothing had changed too much in the past year. The Nord got so much attention because of the price point, and everyone started talking about it. So I'm very curious to see what will happen, as the Nord never came to the US. So it's interesting to see what OnePlus will do here, what we're going to have, and what the last codename mystery device is. Could it be a smartwatch? Could it be a tablet? Most people have asked for one of those from OnePlus. We'll have to wait and see. I never did get to check out the earbuds. They had that stupid, like, oh, they're on sale. Oh, they're on sale, like every so often. They were $80, so very inexpensive, but I heard kind of things about them. And I honestly have enough true wireless headphones, to be honest, as well, so I didn't really need them. So that's why I never got them myself. But I do hate their invite system. I know that was vintage OnePlus, but come on, we're over that now. All right. Another interesting topic is that Samsung is now making foldable displays for Apple. Apple has ordered a couple of hundreds, a few of them, to be sent to Apple, and so they will begin testing it. Now, this is testing phase, so I do not see Apple coming out with a foldable phone in 2021. I see it more as in 2022. I still believe that Apple will be coming out with their AR glasses next year. And I think that'll be a big uptake for Apple, because I don't think 5G is going to do much for them in terms of ramping up sales. But next year, when they introduce the AR glasses, I think that's going to be a big uptake. And the year after, they're going to have a foldable device, and Apple will see 2 big years of growth because of that. Now, will there be Samsung and Google to match them, at least on the AR front? That is going to be something really interesting. Everyone is going to be using LiDAR sensors next year to help AR technology move along quicker. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Apple will be having LiDAR at least in the iPhone 12 Pro. So that's going to be the biggest difference maker for them year over year. But the reason why that's so big is because it's going to pave the way for their augmented reality glasses next year. So very interesting. Again, they're just ordering it, which again does not mean they're going to come out next year. It means they will be coming out in the future. All right. Now there was some news that both LG and Samsung are not going to be allowed to really sell to Huawei displays anymore, which is huge because Huawei can't really get OLED displays without either one of them. You have POLED from LG and you have AMOLED from Samsung. And obviously, you know, Huawei knows they need this kind of technology. So that's really big. So it really is something that I think is going to be very interesting to see how it goes. But yeah, that's going to be just a very, very interesting thing. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But Samsung is going to appeal to try to keep Huawei as a client, but you know what the US says is going to determine if Samsung will be able to keep Huawei as a client. But if this doesn't go through, Huawei is going to reach another huge hurdle for sure. All right, and in our last news topic of the evening, we have Sabrina apparently going to be called the stupidest name that Google could come up with, which is Google Chromecast with Google TV. Instead of just calling it Google TV. Like, why wouldn't you just call it Google TV? Google, do you not think your name is like worth anything anymore? Like, I don't know. You went away from all the Google Home lineup and went with Nest Home. Sure, whatever. Nest was a trusted brand. Maybe people liked it better. Maybe that's it. But like, what is going on here that it's just like, I don't know. Like, I get it. People know what a Chromecast is. I understand that. But if you release something called Google TV, I think people will get it. I think people are like, oh, okay, so it's like a Roku or something like that. People will understand it. By the way, this goes on the precipice of me testing out a new projector that we just got in the studio, and it has Android TV. It's been a long time since I tested Android TV, to be quite honest, and it's running amazing on this stuff. So it's another thing of Google going back and forth of just like, oh, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know why they're not calling it just Google TV. Google Chromecast with Google TV just sounds so stupid and redundant. But it's Google, and their naming schemes have never been that good, except for their desserts, what they got rid of. But yeah, so Google TV is what it's going to be. So sure, why not? All right, guys, that was the news for today. Now start asking your questions in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, I do want to give you guys some news, just because it has to deal with my whole setup and everything. So I am officially getting a new laptop. I basically got a Best Buy credit card, got it approved for insane amount. So I was able to buy it with like 24 months payments. Great. I'm going to have a brand new laptop. It will be 2 weeks from now. So it won't be next week. I'm still going to be using this system. But 2 weeks from now, hopefully I'll be able to start transitioning everything. And by October, we should have a brand new computer set up. I'm going to also do a video on why I chose the computer I did. I'm actually leaving Dell, which I did stick for a while. My last two computers were Dell, and my wife's last two computers were Dell. So I had used Dell for a long time. I'm going with a different company. And the main reason, just I had a bad experience. So my laptop runs great. Actually, the only time that I have any kind of issue or stuttering is when I'm doing live streaming. So I've thought of even using a different company. I use... what is this app that I'm using right now? I don't know why I can't think of it. XSplit. I use XSplit for everything of my streaming, and I'm not sure if it's XSplit, if it's some software I have on here. I'm sure if I factory reset it, my computer would actually probably run fine. But the other thing is this computer's never really played well with external graphics. So my new computer is just going to be based off of the computer. My new computer is going to have a 2070 Super, so the best processor for about another week, for most laptop and users. So that's the one that I went with. I'm going to be selling my external graphics card and my laptop. External graphics card with the external casing and the 2070 Super inside of it, I'm going to be selling for about $600. And my laptop, which is still a very well capable laptop, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it with Type-C connection, because that's when it seems to run hot. You know, still 8th generation i7, and still 1050 graphics card and 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte solid state. Gonna sell for about probably 500 or so. So hopefully that will help me recoup, and that's basically where I'm at. So we'll be definitely should have an improvement over the next 2 weeks or so, but definitely by the month of October, we will have an entirely new setup. So I should be able to live stream more fluidly, and also hopefully get out videos sooner. I don't have any real issues with editing. I mean, I edit really quickly with my current setup. So we'll see how it goes again for the next step for some reason, streaming is bad. And again, if I have the same issues with this on this computer, I'll look for a different streaming service. But that is what I've been using. And I just wanted to give you guys that update, because obviously we had that issue again today. I just cannot believe that Chrome and XSplit use 100% of an i7 processor, 8th generation i7 processor. It baffles me, but that's what this tells me. All right. Greetings from Australia. Thank you, Gene, for joining us from Australia. Did you get the Twitter like for the T-shaped phone? It does slide vertical. Yes, actually, I tweeted that. If you don't follow me on social media, at YouTube Tech Guy, I tweeted that as soon as it came out, that I was like, yes, the LG Wing, which is also going to be announced shortly, that basically has confirmed that it basically slides. So it goes from this and it slides down like this. So that has been confirmed. That is what does happen. So I'm very happy that is confirmed for sure. Hey Ricky, how are you? Have you received the One UI 2.5 update on Note 10 Plus? I got the unlocked version, still waiting. Thanks. No, haven't, but I do not have a Note 10 Plus. The last Note 10 I had was a standard Note 10 that my wife had, which I traded in for the Note 20. So yeah, and now I traded in my S20 that for the Fold 2. So unfortunately, the oldest Samsung I now have is the Note 20. So that's the oldest one I have, and I'm going to be getting the Fold 2. So I do not know how that rollout is going, but safe to say you should get it probably this month. I know some people already got it at the beginning of the month, but you should be getting it still. Do you know of any good 4K HDMI splitter? I have 4 ports, but now I need more ports on my TV. If you click our Amazon affiliate link in the description, that takes you to our Amazon store. I'm almost positive I have the one I use there. I used to use one for my monitors. And it worked great. It was rated up to 4K. I didn't need it. It was like, it was like a regular monitor and a camera monitor. So I definitely didn't need it. What I did it for was basically I had two 27-inch monitors, and then I had another 24-inch monitor that was also for my recording area at my last studio. So what I did was I flipped the switch when I needed that monitor. When I was doing live streams, I would use the monitor. And the other times, I would move it back to my overhead shot of the camera. So yeah, it worked great for everything I needed. Never had any issues with it. And yeah, I only used 2 ports, but I know it had 4 ports, if I'm not mistaken. All processors, that is intriguing. It is. It really is. What do you think Nvidia is going to do with the company? That is the question that only, I'm not going to lie and say, like, I know everything about Nvidia. Like, they develop guidance systems for AI, for automated driving cars. Like, they have a lot of different avenues that they've worked for. But the biggest thing is of course, graphics. And now it's also funny because I'm wondering, Nvidia, when Android first started, made processors as well. They made processors called the Tegra processors. It's still on their Android TV, if I'm not mistaken. They use a Tegra processor on there. Could we see a rising again of Tegra processors to challenge Qualcomm? This is the company that makes ARM processors, so it would be like a founder's edition if you know their GPU style. So it really is just kind of very interesting in terms of what they can do. But yeah, this deal is huge. Which is better or more secure, Google Pay or Samsung Pay? I have never used either, but think of the way of the world right now, it's time to start. So easily, Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay can be used pretty much anywhere because Samsung Pay can be used any place you can swipe a credit card, you can pretty much tap with Samsung Pay. Because Samsung Pay not only uses NFC, which is what Google Pay and Apple Pay use, but Samsung Pay still has, I believe, three years or so on their exclusivity, because it's a 10-year tech patent. And I want to say they have 3 or 4 years left on it. For MST. MST is magnetic strip. I forgot what, but it's basically the sliding card technology that every credit card machine uses. There's very few that don't work. Some that you have to like push a button in the back when you slide your credit cards for it to start reading. Those are pretty much the only thing. But I literally have used Samsung Pay on parking meters before it had NFC. I know some parking meters now have it, But I'm talking about like old school parking meters that barely had a credit card slide in. Those work with Samsung Pay. Target, which didn't have NFC for the longest time, I was using it 4 years ago when Samsung Pay first came out. So yeah, Samsung Pay is easily the best for its availability everywhere. It's also more secure because since Samsung Pay is only for Samsungs, they can do encryption on the phone. So they have a hardware chip, part of their Knox series, that secures it on the phone. So none of that information ever goes anywhere. It's all encrypted on the device, which is more secure than how Google Pay is encrypted, which is virtually. It is encrypted online so that no one can see it, but of course that still means it goes somewhere. So that therefore Samsung Pay is more secure and it is the best one of all. The one thing I will say that Google Pay does sometimes have more than it is some like credit unions are on Google Pay but not on Samsung Pay. So that's the biggest thing that I will say is Google Pay has, I felt like, made more partnerships lately, and Samsung Pay, I feel, kind of stagnated on their partnerships. They were all gung ho 2 years ago. They were just getting left and right, kept adding more and more, but they really haven't done much since. Just a quick question. Oh yeah. Does MediaTek make their own architecture, or do they use ARMs? Asking for Huawei. I'm I'm almost positive MediaTek uses ARM as well. I'm almost positive. I can't think of that off the top of my head, but I'm almost positive that MediaTek uses ARM as well, for sure. Which is again big, right? Because then Nvidia, okay, ARM is a UK or British company, right? Nvidia is a US company. If Nvidia buys ARM, then still, no matter what, ARM is a company owned by, oh man, what that would do to Huawei. So yeah, that's another big thing. Huawei could just be SOL. Seriously. If they can't have the best displays, they already can't have the better operating system, right? So they're making their own Harmony OS. If because of all this trade, and again, we don't want to get into politics, so again, please don't get into politics in the comment section about Huawei, but just from a business standpoint, if Huawei then loses the ability to have the best displays and have pretty much the entire field of processors taken away from them, what can Huawei do left? Like, what can they do? High silicon chips, which is what Huawei was using on some of theirs, those do use those definitely do use ARM. I'm almost 90% positive. Someone could look it up. If MediaTek is ARM based, I'm almost positive it is. But just search that MediaTek ARM based, and you'll get your answer. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. When it comes to smartphones, what is the big question? Does it fit my needs? I guess would be the big. I don't know what you mean by that. Philosophically, in what way? But yeah, does it fit my needs? I would say is just the big question, because most people, I would say the majority of people out there, care about battery life and camera. Those have always been the two biggest things that if you get those right, most people will be happy with your phone. From there, it varies. Some people want a big screen, some people want a smaller screen. Some people want, selfie cameras, more importantly than a regular camera. Some people want it to work with certain things at home, or want to work with certain things in their business world, or whatever. So it varies on that dramatically, but yeah. Should I buy a Pixel 4a or a OnePlus 7 Pro for $400 new condition? Funny you say that. I'm probably going to sell my McLaren OnePlus 7 Pro for that same price of $400. So good to know I'm in the right price range. So yeah, so the Pixel 4a, versus the OnePlus 7 Pro. I'll tell you right now, the Pixel 4a takes better photos. It does. It really does. Now, if you put the Google Cam, Gcam, on the OnePlus 7 Pro, it will take comparable photos. And then you have a wider range of taking photos now with the latest updates. And OnePlus phones definitely get good updates with Gcam, so that's a good way to go. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm literally getting it ready to sell and all that stuff. But the McLaren OnePlus 7 Pro, great phone, feels great, still has 5G capability, all this kind of stuff, and it really, that pop-up camera was probably the best feature of this phone. So yeah, really stood out. I think as a phone, easily more capable. The OnePlus 7 Pro is going to run faster. It's going to be faster. It's just going to run smoother. It has more built-in storage, 56 gig storage built in. But the Pixel 4a is going to be, I think, the easier phone in a lot of people's eyes, depending on how tech-savvy you are. And again, it will take better photos out of the box. If you do use Gcam, though, the OnePlus 7 Pro will be the best of all trades with that. Why does Samsung Display need the US approval as a client? It's a very good question because you're asking about a Korean company, Samsung, working with a Chinese company, but a lot of its operations, including displays, is in the US. And so the whole thing is the US doesn't want any of its manufacturers, which Samsung does have a huge manufacturing plant in it's not Dallas, Texas, but it's in Texas. Has a huge manufacturing plant in Texas, and it's a political thing. That's all I'm going to say, but it needs it. It does need it. So yeah. Google Chromecast instead of Google TV. Yeah, you could just call it Google Chromecast, but if they can't just name it Google Chromecast for the next Google Chromecast, because Google Chromecast has a concept in people's minds that, oh, well, you can just connect your phone to the TV. It's not actually, the whole thing. So we'll see. Let's see. Pixel 5 rumored to be $699 to $799. I'm thinking of dumping Samsung for the Pixel 5. Hey, some people really do love stock Android. I have admitted time and time again I'm not one of those people. I do not care for it in terms of just being a stock version of the device. I really do love all of the additions that Samsung has that eventually come to stock Android, but it takes a long time to do it. Like screen recording was one of the latest things that you got in Android 11 that wasn't around before. Samsung had it. So it was things like that I feel like that, gestures I still feel are not as good on stock Android as they are on Samsung, and lots of different things. So overall, though, there is a huge benefit of going for the Pixel. I was talking about this with someone the other day, and again, I completely have to say this every single time when it comes to a Pixel versus Samsung or an iPhone. I can take a better photo than the Pixel can. If I take the photo, if I set it up with a Samsung or an iPhone, I can take a better photo than the Pixel can. However, if I have to have someone else take a picture, I will 9 times out of 10 hand them my Pixel, because that phone is just basically idiot proof. You can't take a bad photo with it for the most part. Like, it really does do such a great job because of its post image processing that it's still ahead of everyone else in terms of processing, but what Samsung and Apple have is better hardware. So yeah. Is it Lenovo? No, I will tell you it is not Lenovo. I looked at the Lenovo Legion. Overall, I did not go with Lenovo, though, for my new laptop. So, yeah. It's a more niche company. I wanted to let you know Verizon did get the Fold 2. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm waiting for my Fold 2. I should be getting it this week, actually, before the end of the week. So, be getting the Fold 2 and the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. So, I'm literally, my hidden feature videos are coming out for the Note 20 this week. I'm going to do 2 videos. So, be recording them tonight, and they should be going up later this week. So, definitely stay tuned for those. You guys know that I always try to find the most hidden features. And of course, I found some new ones because, you know, other people might have gotten the phone before me and done hidden feature videos, but they don't always get all the hidden features. So yeah. You can check out a lawnmower with Nvidia. Sure, why not? You can put all this kind of stuff in there. Let's see. Small screen, I need to put glasses. Got it. I want a Pixel 5, but the small screen, I at least need a 6.5 inch. Huge hands. Yeah, I mean, then it's not always for you for sure then. You need to kind of have a bigger display, and then we'll see. We'll see what the 5S has to offer, but from what we've heard, it would be at most a 6.3 inch, I think. So it's still smaller. It's bigger than the 5.8, but that's what I think the last we heard was 6.2 or 6.3. I forgot what it was, but it was something around there, which the rumor was for the Pixel 5 or 5S now maybe. Why come T-Mobile won't sell the Z Fold 2? Carriers have to pay for it. Carriers have to pay for that ability to be one of the partners of that device. And other carriers are willing to pay more sometimes for an exclusivity. So basically, you know, they'll be like, hey, we'll pay you this many millions of dollars so that we can have exclusivity and you don't sell it to AT&T and T-Mobile. You can sell an unlocked version, which is, of course, what they did, and still have it that way. Also, that projector you got recently looks like it will be fun. It is an awesome projector. So I've never had a projector, a high quality projector, right? Most of the projectors that I reviewed here on the channel were like $300 and under. Not the best quality, you know, good for the price, good for like a movie night kind of thing. This one is like a really good quality. This is, I'll tell you the price right now, it's $800 projector. So this competes with buying this instead of a TV. You would choose this over a 65-inch smart TV. And honestly, since this can go up to 100 inches, not a bad choice. So it's that kind of thing where I'm really trying to wrap my head around a projector, so I need more time before I give my thoughts and for the review. But that's where I'm going in with the mindset, for sure. Stream on Twitch. I've never thought about streaming on Twitch, and I guess I would have to stream separately. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Hello, where can I DM you? I tried Twitter, but you don't have messages activated. I think anyone that I follow can also message me, but yeah, my email is in the description. Samsung has 20 Plus for sale for 20 price. Yeah, and that's what I said it should have been. I think all of those phones should have been $200 less. I think the S20 should have been $799. I think the S20 Plus should have been $999, and I think the S20 Ultra should have been $1199. That's what I think all the prices should have been. I think they are going to be that, or some of them already are at that now as a sale price, but I think that should remain their new prices, in my opinion. I wrote to the email. I'll check it after the show. Ricky, your video and voice are not sync. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties earlier. So yeah, I guess it's still not in sync, and I do apologize for that. If you do look at our earlier part of the video, I explained all of it, and I'm going to be getting a new computer. Again, this computer has no issues except for when I stream. So yeah. Do you think Huawei is going to innovate and create everything on their own, and will they be shut down their mobile division? I think they have a very honest and true possibility of being sold or dismantled. Like and it's crazy because as of right now they're the number one mobile manufacturer, right? But I just don't know. I think it could all change next year. We'll see, but I think Huawei has become one of the biggest targets of political stuff this year, for sure. And again, I don't want to get into politics, but it's crazy. I think what has happened to Huawei as a company. This is about to be as good as you can get at the moment since it's this live. Yeah. Did you pre-order the Tab S7? I pre-ordered the Tab S7 Plus. Yes, I pre-ordered that one. I'm trading in my Tab S6. And then I also pre-ordered the Fold 2. I buy a OnePlus 7T from you. If you want to sell it, let me know. DM if that's not okay. You can always just email me, again, just like the other person did in the description. Yeah, I don't mind selling it to all of you guys because it's better than for me to do it that way than eBay. But yeah, like I said, I'm selling my external graphics card. I'm selling my laptop, which again is great except for when streaming. I think it'll probably be better once the software reset. And I'm selling my OnePlus 7 Pro. I'm also going to be selling my... What is that other thing I'm selling? My Red Magic 5, because we do have the Red Magic 5S, and I'm very happy about that one. So yeah. So yeah, that's all the stuff I'm selling. If you're interested, email me, and I'll talk to you guys. Apple YouTubers are starting to depress me. Why are they starting to depress you? Why? The defending of the 120 hertz doesn't matter? Yeah, a lot of them are saying that. Is that why? I don't know. I'm curious. I feel like that's what every Apple user, like every Apple user right now. Do you honestly believe that the average consumer cares about 120 hertz display? Do you think that if Apple doesn't do that, they aren't going to sell like crazy? That they aren't going to sell like hotcakes? Let's just be clear. Apple could not have 5G, and they're still going to sell. I said that for a long time. I didn't think this iPhone was going to have 5G because I didn't think Apple needed it. They didn't need to spend the money on it. They chose that one over the 120 hertz display. They chose 5G over the 120 hertz. That's what they did. So yeah, it is what it is. It'll have 120 hertz next year because that's how Apple does things. Big upgrade, small upgrades. Big upgrade, small upgrades. Small upgrades sometimes. Like for the last 5 years. Has your Z Fold 2 shipped yet? Mine hasn't. I ordered the day early. I've seen some have shipped. Mine has not shipped yet. My guess is mine will probably ship tomorrow and I'll get it Wednesday. If it's like the Ultra was. Alienware? No, not Alienware. Good guess though. Those are two that I did consider. I was literally almost going to buy an Alienware. The R3. Or MR3, yeah, I think that was also going to be one that I was thinking that. GTX, RTX, I think it's referred to as, not GTX, but yes, I know what you mean. 3080 thoughts, and any spoilers for Apple upcoming conference. So for the 3080, I think it's impressive from what Nvidia has shown in terms of benchmarks. It seems like other tech YouTubers that have it right now, that have benchmarked it, can't say anything about it, but have said like it's pretty good. Also, some have leaked. So yeah, I think the 3080 is a huge upgrade because of the new architecture that it's built on. It's like when processors went from 14 nanometer processors to 10 nanometer processors and now 7 nanometer processors. It's really a huge upgrade in terms of battery life, consumption, and power. So I think that's the big thing that happened this year with Nvidia that we're going to see a huge increase on. I would have liked to have waited actually to sell all my computer and my external graphics card and everything like that till the beginning of next year when we would start seeing laptops with 3080, 3070 graphics cards, but unfortunately I just can't wait. Who knows? Maybe by the end of next year I'll sell my new laptop and go for that. We'll see. This is going to be fun. 51st date questions. Check out. Yeah. So yeah, as always, want to plug in. Thank you, Quiet Storm, for always reminding me to plug my app. So yes, I did make an app a while back. It's called 51st Date Questions. It's a great game to play on a first date or just while you're sitting at home with your significant other. It is an awesome game. You ask them a question, they ask you questions. You find out things about each other that you find out if you're compatible or not, if you're on a first date, or find out how much their answers have changed. I always say this, but a couple years ago, me and my wife are going to be together 10 years in a few weeks. The answers change. The answers change, and that's always kind of interesting to see that. So yeah, check it out. 51st Date Questions. Links in the description on iOS and Android. Mine is still showing pending, but then I have the hinge red, so it says up to 5 weeks. Yeah, you got the hinge. I purposely got the hinge black, like the color. I got the black version, and I got the hinge black specifically because I didn't want to wait longer. So yeah, you're probably gonna have to wait longer for that, unfortunately. Do you use Stream Deck for your live stream? I do. I do use the Stream Deck. Can't pull it all the way over here. Or yeah, I can. I do use the Stream Deck. So yeah, I have that always. It's how I start my live streams. Use all of it. How many years do you think Netflix has before it ends up being a Blockbuster or Circuit City? I do believe Netflix would be in horrible stance if 2020 didn't happen the way it did. 2020 saved Netflix, to be honest. In my opinion, it truly saved Netflix. You have HBO Max. You have. By the way, I finally bit the bullet and I got HBO Max. I'm sharing it with 2 other people, so that way it's just like $5 a month for me. So that I'm fine with doing that. So we have 3 accounts. We're only each using 3, not sharing with anyone else. But yeah, so I now have HBO Max, I have Netflix, and I have Disney Plus. For me, I could easily drop Netflix. Like the only reason I still have Netflix is for my other family members. For my brother, my daughter, my wife, they watch Netflix. I don't. I really don't. It's funny that we just got HBO Max because now we're like, me and my wife are watching this new show, Lovecraft, I think it's called. It's a very weird show. I almost couldn't get through the first episode because, like, I don't know if it was 20 minutes in. I don't know how long the episodes are, if they're 40 minutes. But the first half of it was just, like, so hard to see. It's so hard to see its stupidity of the past. So, yeah, it's just kind of like, but, yeah, so, like, this. And now my son is a baby. He's about to turn 1. He is so into Sesame Street. HBO bought Sesame Street. I didn't know. The quality that Sesame Street... If you haven't seen Sesame Street lately, like, it is like the opener especially. Search for like Sesame Street theme song or opener. It is 4K. Like, this is Sesame Street. It looks so much better. My wife was like, "This isn't the Sesame Street we saw when we were younger," and all that kind of stuff. So I think it was very interesting of that quality. But yeah, I don't need Netflix. I think Netflix had a big win this year because of everyone staying at home for the most part. So that really helped it. I think if by next summer movie theaters are big again and all this kind of stuff and everything is hopefully a normal that we had before this year, I think that, yeah, we can definitely see some pullback in Netflix. I mean, I think you're going to see more aggressive pricing from the other ones, and I think you're going to have Netflix do lower tier pricing. I think they're going to go back on some of their pricing because of that. So we'll have to wait and see, but again, Disney is still one of the best, in my opinion, just because of the pricing, and they're getting more and more content. They're pulling from Fox, and you're only going to see that grow till the end of the year. They have all the X-Men movies now on there, pretty much. Well, at least all the good ones. So, I don't think they have Logan yet. I don't know if they will have Logan because it's rated R, but everything else they have on there, and yeah, I'm very happy with that for sure. I think, yeah, we'll see what Netflix goes through. I think the biggest loser right now is number one, Apple TV has done nothing. We'll see what they have to say later this week about that. But Apple TV has been the biggest loser by far. And then you're going to go see, you're going to have, what is it? Both Peacock and HBO Max, I feel, are still so dumb for not jumping on Roku. Funny enough, it is on Android TV. HBO Max was on. I was able to use it on the projector and like see The Big Bang Theory. That's part of it. So like that was kind of cool. Like, oh, it's on Android TV, but it's not on Roku. I don't know why. It's very bizarre, but we'll have to wait and see that. Um, are you getting or going to review the Tab S7? I will not review the Tab S7. I will review the Tab S7 Plus. I am getting that on Friday, at the latest, I assume. Have you seen any good cases for the Fold 2 yet? The best two cases I've seen is the official Samsung case with a kickstand, which I forget the name of that one, but I bought that from Mobile Fun. Samsung sold that on their website. Amazon and Best Buy do not have it. MobileFun.com does have it. I got it from there, so I should be getting it hopefully, relatively soon. I ordered it last week, so hopefully I'll get it at launch, but I might have my Fold 2 without a case for a few days. The other one is UAG has a pretty nice looking case. The reason why I like the Samsung one though the most, it has a kickstand. The Fold 2 with a kickstand sounds really cool, so yeah. Congrats on the 10 years. Thank you very much. That is funny you chose purple and green. Those are my favorite colors. Watch Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. My wife was about to start seeing that. We were going to see it, but I thought, I know I've heard some things about it. I just didn't want that around my baby boy. I didn't want him to get scared because he has gotten scared at a few things. Oh, what was the thing? There was some movie on and he got scared of something, and I was like, oh no, like he's scared of it. It was just funny. I don't know. I think it's probably low tones or voice of some scary things, but yeah. Netflix also acquired a couple of UPN shows, from what I've heard. Yes, I mean, like Sister Sister and a lot of those shows, I was like, what? I thought that was a very interesting one for sure. Do you sell on eBay? Yes, I sell on eBay. A lot of old electronics I've sold on eBay. You probably haven't seen it yet, but what do you think of the new live action Mulan? I did see it actually. My wife did not like it. My daughter thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. Um, I do like some of the things they did, but I feel that a lot of people are right. It starts very slow. Like it doesn't pick up till later. And I do think that like it missed out on not having some of the fun stuff. It also gave weirdly like a Dragon Ball Z thing. Not in terms of like, Kamehameha, but it gave like you have Chi or like Kai, and you have this power, and people have different power levels, and if you have a really high power level you can do all these crazy things, and it's just like that I mean, I don't know if that was in the original stories, the original novels, but it definitely wasn't in Disney's version, so I didn't know where they came from. So I thought that was a very interesting addition. And yeah, I liked I, I liked some of the aspects of it. I didn't really care for some of the other ones. Jet, if you don't see the entire movie, Jet Li as an emperor, as a boss. Um, yeah, yeah, that was cool. Um, But yeah, so those were, I guess, my kind of mini review of it. I thought it was okay. It changed a lot from the original for sure, and again, I thought it would have benefited. I think a lot of people said this, but like, if you remember how A Girl Worth Fighting For, that song ended, the way that song ended, it was, oh, like a gut punch. Like, you were like, oh, this is what's going on. Whereas here, when you saw that same scene, it was just like, oh, okay, I don't really feel anything. It's war. Like, so there was a thing from switching between lighthearted and devastation, where this just had devastation. So, like, I think it was better in that aspect for the cartoon. Um, hey, Ricky, which would you recommend, the iPhone XS Max or the S20 Plus? I have an S8 Plus. Well, both will be an upgrade to the camera. The S20 Plus will have better overall photo taking. The S Max will have better video during the day. The S20 Plus will have better video at night. The battery life is going to be better overall on the S20 Plus compared to the Max. Um, yeah, the 11 Max or 11 Pro Max was, I would say, better battery than the S20 Plus, but compared to the XS Max, the S20 Plus had a better battery life. So yeah, that's some of them. Green Lantern for green, purple for the reference to the moist. Yes. Dude, I did not realize that was Jet Li. Shaking my head. That was Jet Li. So yeah, Jet Li's a boss. He was an emperor, like a boss. Why does LCE failure mean a laptop that won't boot up? Wait, what? Why does LCD failure mean in a laptop that won't boot up? I am not that kind of technician, but I can tell you it could be that there could be an issue with the connection of the actual LCD panel to the rest of the laptop. So something could have failed with that. All the circuitry moves together, so if there is a short in any of that circuitry, it could cause an issue. It could also be the connection between the graphics card and the LCD, which is causing the issue, and that could, again, make it not boot up. So yeah, those are multiple things. I second the lips are not in sync. Yes, I think the sound and the lip is not in sync. Yes, I know that. Talked about all that earlier. We had a huge pause where it froze and then it went back, but when it came back, it wasn't completely in sync. But yeah. All right, guys. I think we will call that a show. Let me know what else you guys want to see from the Note 20 before I leave that behind. I'm going to do my hidden features videos on it. I'm going to do my overall review on it. And then I'm going to be moving on to the Fold 2 by the end of this week. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. I'm going to do some other videos for it. But yeah, all that stuff is coming. All right, guys. Thank you as always so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys watching every week. I know we've had some struggles with the live stream, but again, it will get better in the month of October for sure, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Thank you guys again for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.